doing great.
Good morning, everyone. What is going on? We're back again with another episode of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. This is Silverback Senpai, and joining me across the table is Waluigi.
Morning, everybody. Wow. Such an early morning. Flint's Festival was fun. And now we got these wonderful ladies with us.
Absolutely. We're missing one, and of course, Jiggy Fee, she could not make it today, unfortunately, but we will catch her on the next one. But one is running currently late because she had to work last night here, so she'll pop up momentarily. But starting from Mello, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Mello. I play Guilty Gear Strive and Under Night, and I'm from South Florida. I'm from Miami.
Hey.
Saki?
My name is Saki Sakura. I am a competitive and commentator for Mortal Kombat, Guilty Gear Strive, and Melty. And I am from Fort Lauderdale.
And Amanda.
Hi guys, my name is Amanda. I'm known as the Heart Container Cafe. We do gaming-themed desserts, Japanese goods, boba tea. I also host Tekken 7 tournaments at Flynn's and an unbranded brewery. And we used to do Guilty Gear tournaments as well. And I'm a Tekken player myself. Let's go.
Alrighty.
I need that energy.
This episode of the podcast will be on all audio hosting platforms like Spotify, Anchor, SoundCloud, iTunes, yada, yada, yada. And then, of course, a big thank you to our Twitch subscribers. Thank you guys for the subs and bits. Greatly appreciate the support for the podcast. And now, recapping from our last episode, which was the Strive cast, where we had Herbs, Beefy Manatee, Creator, and Turb. Great. Yeah, it was a great episode. We talked a lot about Guilty Gear Strive, the future of it, and the fact that it became a main game for most major tournaments. Because in the past, usually Guilty Gear was a very niche game. But it's good to see that it's getting its shine, it's getting its praise, because it's doing things other fighters should do.
Oh, 100% agree. I'm still messed up that the fact there was supposed to be a dual mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a 2v2 kind of style, and it got discontinued.
Yeah.
That still fucks me up today.
I did not know that.
Reminds me of Mortal Kombat. They had the same idea, but then we ended up getting a tag team NPC tower mode instead.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, why? Why?
Yep, everybody felt the same way.
just give us tag. Just give us Mortal Kombat tag. Give us Guilty Gear tag. I'm telling you, it'll make for some really good matches and chaotic moments, because that's what people want. We want chaos when we fight against other players. We want that.
But just imagine a happy chaos and a ram going against each other. I don't think anyone would see daylight.
It's too early for that now.
It's never too
Too
early.
early.
It's
Never too early.
Way too early.
I like the bring it.
You guys got the Smash cast, you got the Guilty cast. Got to get that Tekken cast next.
Ooh.
Maybe
that
Melty
idea?
Blood cast too. Smile.
Possibly.
Melty Blood.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to it. We just gotta find these people in the light, or just get them out of Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're in hiding or whatnot, so eventually we'll find them.
Because I've not met a single Melty Blood player from West Palm Beach.
No.
Dang, we're all
And I live by 4 face buttons and herbs. We're all 10 minutes away from each other.
Dang.
So convenient.
Yes, my ass kickings are local.
All right, so going with our topics for today, we're gonna start off with Amanda. What got you into fighting games?
I grew up with a brother that was 11 years older than me, and I had basically every game system from Atari up until the PS3 days is when he left on his own to live his life and stuff. And I grew up with him playing a lot of fighting games. We played a lot of King of Fighter, which I'm glad the new one came out and more people are noticing it, because I went in cosplay as Mai to a few of the cons that happened recently before it, and nobody knew who I was. It was
Otaku
just
Fest.
so disappointing. Otaku Fest, yeah, it was so disappointing.
I
I was
remember that too.
Remember when we competed together?
how do you not know?
It's crazy because she's also been in Dead or Alive at some point.
Yeah,
very mixed with them.
she's an icon, bro. She's literally an icon in fighting games. So I was like, everybody's got to know her, right? nobody knew her. I was like, what? I'm not that old. But yeah, I grew up playing a lot of King of Fighter. I grew up playing Smash. I grew up playing a lot of the other like anime fighters that I just can't put my finger on. I grew up playing Street Fighter. So yeah, a lot of those I grew up playing. Ironically, never played Tekken in my life. Like not with
What?
my brother in any way. I don't. We played every game, but I don't know if he didn't know Tekken existed or if I don't remember. But Tekken never came to mind. Jason, my boyfriend, is actually the one who showed me Tekken, and I got into it with him over time. And I joined the Tekken tournaments at Flens when they had it, and I was into it. And I didn't actually get serious about learning until we started doing tournaments for it. And then I got serious about learning it.
You could say she was Tekken into the game. I'll see myself out. Damn, it didn't work.
Gotta go. Yeah, you didn't-
I haven't got them yet.
no points on the board yet.
No. Saki, what got you into fighting games?
So this is so interesting enough. I actually did not like fighting games when I grew up. I actually remember getting really mad at them. I bought one for like the Nintendo 3DS, which was like Dead or Alive, and I was like, I don't like this game. Why did I buy it? And I like turned it back into GameStop. And interesting enough, it wasn't until I was dating someone at the time, one of my partners, and he basically was like, hey, I wanted to spend some time with you. Like, can we play like Injustice? And I was like, I don't know, man, because the only reason I have the game is because Starfire was in it, and I never picked up the game. And then let it be known that he did kick my butt pretty hard in Injustice, where I was like, I'm never picking up this game ever again. One of the reasons why I did not start with Injustice 2 when that game was still alive before MK11. And then when MK11 came out, not only was he like, hey, let's try this. It's a brand new fighting game. I remember going into like a GameStop, and I remember seeing Jade unveiled. They were highlighting her in one of the videos for promoting MK11, and I was like, damn, she looks really graceful. She looks really cool. I think I might learn her, and let it be known that like as soon as MK11 came out, I picked up Jade, and that's when I start realizing that like maybe I'm good at pressing buttons. And with that, like my partner, tried to show me a little bit of how to like play the fighting games, like what's the fundamental behind it, and sort of like the knowledge behind just playing it casually. And because of that, I stayed mostly for meeting a group of women online that played Mortal Kombat and NRS games, and ever since I've been into it. So yeah, it's honestly, I feel like a lot of people or a lot of women like to say that their first experience comes from their family or from their partners. But I think for me, the biggest thing is that it's not so much of that starting point. It's like I actually stayed because I got to meet a group of women focused on that game.
Yeah, and I think I think it was one of the Mortal Kombat tournaments is when I actually met you.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I think it was probably, I know there was one in the Seminole Hard Rock Cafe, and then there was one in West Palm Beach as well, and then I probably one in Orlando too.
Kick ass.
Yeah, I honestly, Mortal Kombat is where I really started coming out and actually exploring what the FGC had to offer, because I didn't even know FGC existed.
Right.
And I wish I did, because I would have loved to have grown up with like everybody in like the offlines and stuff, because I was a very, very sheltered, non-social butterfly when I was growing up in high school. So.
Oh, you would have grew up in the dark ages of the fighting game community before the internet became a thing where, yeah, it was toxic. I mean, it's still toxic now, certain parts of it, but before the internet, like, you literally had like very like sections of fighting game groups around the country or whatnot until online became a thing, and then the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, growing up, I had like no idea FGC existed. My brother had no idea. Like, we didn't know.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know about esports or anything like that for a really long time. And the only time I saw something like that was when I went to like SuperCon and these cons like years ago when they had like the big tournaments going on and all that stuff going on.
Me too.
That was the only time I saw like a big community for tournaments for fighting games, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is cool. And then I didn't know that it was like a continuous community that does this like so many times, not just like once a year at SuperCon. I found out later, and it's like such a like whole like tight knit of people in Florida that like all know each other and know the ranks and how high everybody is, and I was like, that's crazy.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a great thing to see. Mello, what got you into fighting games?
So I actually got into fighting games more recently, like a lot more recently, like late 2018, I want to say. So I'm like familiar with other games. I used to play a lot of FPS. Unfortunately, I played League of Legends
You poor soul.
for a very long time. And I was kind of tired of like the same games coming out over and over again. And I was kind of tired of playing team-based games. And I put on Twitch as background noise all the time, and I got to catch Climax of Night on Twitch. It was just like recommended to me, and it was so hype. And I remember watching it, and I thought all the Under Night characters were so sick. I ended up buying the game, and that became my life. That became my hyperfixation. I had owned Street Fighter 4 before, but I didn't know how to play fighting games on a level like beyond mashing. I knew there was an FGC, but like it never crossed my mind to try to, get into that realm. I was so like deep in other games at that point. I wish I had, but yeah, that's kind of what got me into fighting games. I started kind of like hyperfixating on it late 2018, and I attended like my first locals in 2019, and now I'm here.
Yeah, also Street Fighter, it's interesting you mentioned that because I've always been like, oh yeah, I love Chun-Li and I love Sakura, even though my name does not come from that, just want to make that very clear. But like, I'm very familiar with the characters, but you have games like Street Fighter that are not newbie friendly. So, going into a game like Street Fighter 4, 5, even Tekken, it's like, wait a minute, like you go into ranking, you're getting your butt.
Oh yeah, you're getting wrecked.
instantly.
Nobody's
I
safe.
just didn't understand. It felt like the game was like trying to shove myself out of the corner. Back then, I just didn't know. I didn't understand what to do. I had bought an Xbox 360, and then like I bought Street Fighter 4, and I was like, wow, I can't do this online. And like obviously, like I've played games at arcades before. Like I remember my first time like playing a Guilty Gear game, and seeing specifically the character Abba, and thinking like, oh my god, the characters in this game are so cool. But I never really thought about playing to like the level that I'm playing now. Like to me, it was just like an arcade game, and I kind of wish I had known more people in the FGC back then, because they could have like shown me the light. Like I just wish I had gotten into this sooner, but I'm glad that I did, even though it's I'm so late. I don't know anybody who's gotten in like as late as I have. So
Yeah, playing games online. I never played any fighting games online growing up. I just played with my brother or like other friends that I found. I used to think I was good at Smash.
That's what we all think.
I played Smash with like friends and stuff, and I would like wreck them, and it would be great. But I never had the more recent Smashes like myself to practice, and my friends started practicing, and they got really good, and I can't take them now. And if I ever try to play online for that or Tekken or anything else, just wrecked. I mean, Tekken I'm doing a little better with because I've been practicing, but any other fighter game I actually tried playing online, it's intense. It's a lot. Only ever played in arcades or with random people. And I was like, damn, these people are on a whole nother level. Like,
yeah, it's like, I like to say it's like the perfect recipe of discouragement, because you have literally a game that's not either friendly to the newbies. You have on top of that the online being super rough. Like obviously when you get into a fighting game, usually people don't say, oh, I'm gonna learn how to play this character and master them. They're usually thinking, oh, I'm gonna go into this game and I'm gonna win, right? Because that's the first inclination or first thing you're thinking of when you're trying to play a game, and much less a fighting game. And then the last thing is, of course, the community, right? Like obviously we're just now starting to realize that bringing in more people into the FGC is imperative to our survival, right? Before, like you mentioned, the Dark Ages, it was very niche, very click-based, very group-based. So you'd go to these offlines, and yeah, they're a really awesome time, but then you're really only hanging out with the people you know. Someone who's brand new, who's their first offline, they have no idea what they're doing, and then that just leads to discouragement, and where they're like, you know what, maybe I'm better off just saving my money than having to come back. So a lot of the times that's like one of the things, at least I feel like we've all faced, like here at this table, is that no matter where we've grown up, whether it be someone introducing it to us or, you know, growing up with the game, we've somehow almost encountered that like obstacle, and we've been just able to like push through it and like find the way out. And that's a huge hurdle to actually go through. A lot of people don't really think about that, but as you like kind of grow and you've been in, like, I wouldn't say the business for so long, but you've been in the community for so long, you're like, damn, I was one of you. I remember how hard and frustrated I felt.
Right.
Well said.
I was very like discouraged for a while, just because, you know, a lot of the people that were helping me with fighting games have been playing since like Marvel vs. Capcom, and then here I am. I'm already in my 30s, and like I'm just starting this now. I was like, how am I ever gonna catch up? But like, you will.
Yeah.
You just have to play like
Yeah.
consistently. Like, you will.
Yeah, and even for me, that's another challenge for me for itself, whatnot, because I'm so busy working on improving the scene and trying to get more people in. I have very little time to just sit down and practice and play a game, which is why I feel like my skills in fighting games is just it's like deteriorating. It's like it's going down, and it's because work, life, and whatnot. And it's one of those things where it's like, man, I wish I could have been in the scene when I was earlier, like for some of these newcomers that are coming in and they're being active in the scene where, you know, they're in their early 20s or whatnot, which, you know, good for them. Like, I'm happy for them because they get to at least experience something that I wish I could have experienced when I was younger, when we did not have a scene. For those who are in their 30s and older, when we were in our 20s and late teens, we did not have like a community and an environment like this because it was so very niche, you know, so very closed off, to the point where if you did wanted to meet other gamers or whatnot, you would be kind of very shy and kind of reserved because you didn't know people and you would just stay around people that you were comfortable with. Like, I wish I had that growing up, but I am happy now that I am a part of it, and then I can also give new players that experience that I never got to have because, hey, you get to experience something so great and unique that we want to keep this going. We want to keep the scene alive, but we want to keep it growing. And, you know, we want to include everybody in it as well, because there are times where I'm pretty sure all of us have seen it at either locals or even majors that we go to. You'll have like maybe that one player that's just, you know, to themselves or whatnot. And you're just like, you know what, let me go and, you know, play with this person or whatnot. So that way they don't feel like they're alone.
Well,
Yeah.
fucking said.
I was one of them.
too.
I actually,
Yeah, same.
Seminole Hard Rock was my first offline for MK. It was really cool because they had, it was interesting because this was right after, I want to say CEO or I think it was either Combo Breaker or CEO. And Katana Prime was there, Alcatraz, which they're all Florida homies if you're not too familiar with them, but
Oh, I
very
didn't know this,
notable
actually.
Florida players for the MK scene. And I was there, and one of the things that I was super like just like shocked in was like it was only me and one other girl, Infinity, who actually competed. And I was like, holy shit, I'm the only girl in this room of 100 men, essentially, right? And what was interesting is I met one of my best friends, Spammy, and he just straight up came up to me. He's like, yo, what's up? And I was like, oh, hi. And he's like, yeah, I want to get some games. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, you want to get games with me? Like, oh, shit, okay. And then we just like started playing, and then he's the type of person that's like very loud and like yelling and whatnot. And I was like, damn, this dude's super loud, but it was in such a way where he was himself, but at the same time I was like, yo, somebody's actually talking to me. And ever since then, like, we've kept in contact, we play casuals and stuff, but it's that person actually coming up to you and being like, hi, how are you? I see you. I understand you're alone. Let me be like not creepy, because we've all come across people who are like coming across super creepy, right?
Yeah.
But like this person wasn't that way, and that was the perfect like way for me to feel like, oh, I'm welcomed. And then another thing too is I was such like a little mouse. Like if you look at me now and compare it to me back then, there's a huge difference. And even Katana Prime has said it, but one of the biggest things that has always impacted me is that when I showed up, Katana Prime came up to me and I was like, yo, you guys are not gonna like yell at me or anything like that from like how Twitch chat does, right? And he's like, hell no, we're not Twitch chat. Like we got you. We're gonna protect you. And after that, I was like, holy shit, like, damn, I feel really comfortable. So that's like one of the things that I appreciate out of KP and Spammy too is like, just that welcoming, like I'm not alone. I don't have to worry about it. Like I'm not like this weird outlier or anything. And also too, just the fact that like someone creepy comes up, I know who to go to as well.
Yeah. Man, it's interesting that how like no matter how many like stories that me and Waluigi hear or whatnot, it's always different. It's never usually the same story that we never hear.
Agreed.
And it is good to get it from from a woman's perspective because we're used to being in a space where it's just us and a bunch of other guys or whatnot, but for women to be in the space as well or whatnot, you are going to have those creeps or whatnot, and to the point where it's just like, learn how to approach people. Learn how to approach people in a respectful manner. Don't just be like getting into their bubble, and they're just giving you that look like
like, bruh, can you not?
Literal slide into DMs.
Or the worst one, and I'm pretty sure y'all have experienced some kind of form of this, is where they get like way too close to you, and you're just like,
yeah, bro.
like you like your eyes widen up, you're just like,
oh shit.
Can you like back up? Like you don't want to tell them back up, but it's just like,
it's funny because like you don't want to tell them to back up because you have that respectfulness where you're like, I don't want to be an asshole or anything, but the guys don't have the respectfulness to just not do that. And I wouldn't say it's not that they don't have it. Like it's a lot of people that are in the fighting game community that go to these things usually don't see women as it is.
Yeah.
And some of them just are always home, so they just don't know how to interact with women because they haven't got the chance to. So I feel like it's definitely something they should learn or at least ask. You could be like, am I getting too close to you? Or you could ask us like why we're here and like try to talk with us without just like staring at us and being weird about it. Yeah. It's literally down to asking. We're not gonna like yell you out and curse you out or anything. Like we'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm here to play this. Like I'll play this with you if you want. You don't have to like be weird about it,
I think a lot of people, and it's interesting because I've seen people sort of be like afraid of us.
It's like we're a different species, bro. It's like they're all like little like baby cubs or something, and we're just straight tigers coming in.
Them goddamn Katarina mains.
The thing is that like what people don't understand, and this is everybody, like from not just within fighting games, but like in gaming in general and as a society, like people forget that as women we're constantly like going through shit, and especially if we're POC. So like for example, as a Latin woman, I'm constantly going through some of the craziest shit ever, whether I'm on my stream or just like going out and doing some of the projects I do. And well, that does not allow me to be defensive. Like I don't automatically put up my defense, walls or anything like that. A lot of times what happens is people assume that, and people assume we're going to be on the defensive and we're going to be ready to bite, but it's not really like that. It's more of like, we're just very cautious. Yeah. But that doesn't mean we're going to like not be like super rude to anybody or anything like that. It's just like as soon as we see you're on some like F shit pretty much, like we're gonna call you out on it because we've already been through it so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right. Our next topic is, what are your biggest accomplishments in fighting games in the FGC? Who wants to take that one?
I I made top 8 for my first time recently. I don't have any big accomplishments yet. I have big goals, but I don't have big accomplishments. My big accomplishments right now are my execution has gotten a lot better.
Good.
My neutral has gotten better, so that's my accomplishment for now.
I saw that
More-
you
more
went
to
to.
come on the next podcast I'm in.
I saw that you with the Texas Showdown. How was that?
It was really fun. I had a really good time. I was a little nervous, and last minute I almost didn't go for 2 reasons. I got stained blue because of my hair dye, so I almost
God.
didn't go, but then I got it off, and then I was like, okay, I'll go. And then my friends bailed, so I was like, do I really want to go alone? And I'm glad I did because I met up with like friends that I knew like from the internet world.
Good.
It was a really good time. It was really fun. Very, very comfortable experience. The venue was super nice. Lots of games going on. I played my first match on stream,
Nice.
and I won it.
Nice. No, that is a big accomplishment right
I
there.
was so nervous.
You better
I
send me
was
that
really
clip.
nervous.
I need to take notes from you.
Have you guys seen that meme of like the chick like laying in the shower, like hiding, and it's like, oh, me when the TO like calls me to go out. So it's basically my worst nightmare. But I'm glad I got it out of the way, so I think I'll be less scared next time. But yeah, Texas Showdown was awesome. I think like if you guys have the means, you guys should try to go next year. It was really
Yes.
fun, and the flight was pretty like affordable, so
Nice.
totally worth it. Yeah.
Nice.
Saki.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I definitely want to start off this one with it has I got the email for it, however NDA, so I'm not able to actually talk about it just yet.
Understandable.
But it is I can tell you right now, it has been a huge goal of mine ever since I got into commentating. So I'm really excited once that comes out that I can talk about it. My most accomplishments is actually just 2 because they do correlate with each other. The first one is appearing on the Women of the FGC with Sony and PlayStation.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I
me
saw
too.
that. Yeah, that was awesome.
It was really like eye-popping that my face was on the front page of PlayStation 5s and PlayStation 4s for like the
Sick.
longest time. And it was also really awesome to be able to talk about, to not only talk about my work that I do, but also that like, hey, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm chunky, and I'm here, and I'm part of this community. You all can also be part of this community.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. You're Puerto Rican?
I'm Puerto Rican,
But-
yes. Boricua queen. And then the second one, because again it does correlate with it, is introducing MK11 to Evo. Again, I feel like a lot of the times when we think about like personalities, we only really see like the guy introducing or commentating. But
Yeah.
here's this girl right here, doesn't fit the stereotypes whatsoever and comes out just as strong as they do, and allowing more women and more I wouldn't say minorities, but just marginalized identities actually being able to see like, yeah, this is possible. You can do it yourself. It's not like trying to suck up to anyone. It's literally your hard work actually working off and paying off. So those are the 2, because again they do go close together. So
And your commentary was awesome too, by the way.
thank you.
I lost my mind when I saw it with you. I was watching and I was like, oh my god.
It was really cool because I saw the reactions. So I saw like Ultra Chen. So you have like Jane Chen's, you have Ultra David and Tubbleware, which are like really notable names in the scene. And I saw them like seen, and they're like, oh shit, Saki, like she's on there. And then the idea is like, okay, if I did this, there's a huge chance I get to commentate Evo. So, you know, obviously it's still a wait in progress because those events haven't come up. But seeing everybody's like reactions was probably the really funniest thing I've ever seen. So.
That is awesome.
That is the coolest thing I've heard so far today.
It's definitely great.
And
Mine aren't as cool.
They're still cool. Don't worry.
They're still cool. I have 2 as well. Becoming a TO myself has definitely been a really great thing because it was something that I had planned for my cafe when I actually opened the location and like just did my own gaming tournaments and stuff. Wasn't expecting to do it so early. The opportunity just fell in my lap. Like David with Wolfpack Gaming, he was doing his Smash tournaments at Unbranded Brewery in Hialeah. And I asked to join just to sell my gaming themed desserts and stuff because it fits the location and it works. And I was working with him for a while, and he decided to go with a different location. And those people needed something on Tuesdays. They wanted something going on so that they could get people coming in. And I just decided to ask just to see, what would happen. And they were completely down. I was like, oh shit. Jason, we got to buy a bunch of shit. We got to get this together and actually do it. And after watching like Senpai and watching David and seeing all the things that they get and hearing stories about people starting tournaments and not having the proper tools and stuff and not making it as good as it should be and just not working out, we were making sure to do it completely right from the start. So we made sure we had a good laptop. We made sure we had the webcams. We made sure we had the mics, the Elgatos, so that we could stream right away. We made sure to we had monitors and TVs at first. They were old TVs. They weren't as great. But the second that the people complained about it and they didn't like it, we just changed it. We got monitors right away.
That's really inspiring to hear, by the way. I'm mostly an online TO, and it's really awesome to see like an actual in-person TO like have that same mindset.
It was so crazy because I was worried that people wouldn't show up, especially since it was a woman like leading it and everything. I wasn't sure if they would be as interested.
And you are the first one.
That I know of, at least in Florida and Miami that I know of, I haven't seen any. So it was definitely something that I was like worried about at first. I knew the Tekken crowd from like Flynn's, and I tried getting a hold of them, and I tried getting a hold of people I knew, and I was like, hey, we're gonna start doing Tekken tournaments, because for us it was between like Smash or Tekken or like Street Fighter or something. Mm-hmm. But Smash is done everywhere. There's too many places to go for Smash. There's too many like different days of the week. You could go to this, and this. So I was like, how is that going to make us stand out? How are we going to get people going to that? Plus, we didn't even have like Switches. We would have to buy a bunch of Switches and everything. So because we already have 2 PS4s and we got lucky, shout out to our friend Julio who let us use his PS4 all the time now because he doesn't use it and we use it for our tournaments and stuff. We had enough to have 3 setups. So we decided to go with PlayStation games. And Street Fighter, like we were asking around, seeing what we wanted to do. It was like possibly a second option because we were going to do 2 different games at first. But we really wanted to do Tekken, even though it wasn't as like known and it's dying and everything. Like we really wanted to do it because Jason really loves Tekken, and I started to really like it too. So we started with Tekken, and we were going to do Guilty Gear. We were going to do it on like 2 separate days, and then I got the opportunity with Goblin Heist Comics, who David like changed his location to do Guilty Gear there as well on a different day. So we changed it. So Unbranded would have Tekken, and then we would do Guilty Gear at this place. And when we started with Tekken, I advertised it everywhere. Like I tried to pay for ads on Instagram and Facebook and all this other stuff. And we actually had some people go. We had like a good, sorry. I have like an asthma.
I know it's sneeze for a second.
No, I have like an asthma thing. When I'm like talking like a lot, I just have to take like a really deep breath. It's like a thing I have. But yeah, we had, I don't even remember how many people. We had like maybe 5 or something like that. But I know for sure that Pico, Daruma, and Femme de Godhand were there. So shout out to you guys for that. And they've been there since then. They loved the environment. They loved how me and Jason were. I taught Jason how to do like all the setups and everything. So I'm not like overwhelmed selling my desserts and everything and then doing the setups and everything else. So Jason also, in a way, became a TO himself too and wasn't expecting to, because we do it together now. And I commentate as well for all the tournaments, and he commentates with me, and we work as a team on that, which I think also helped me get involved in the community as a girl, because they saw Jason, they saw this other guy, so they were like, oh, it must be a guy doing it and all this other stuff. And I think sometimes even the people that we do end up doing Tekken for thinks it's Jason, but it's actually me that put everything together and taught him how to do it, because I had to learn how to use Twitch. I had to learn how to use Twitch Studio. I literally stayed up with a friend that we were originally going to have help me with the TO, but then some things came up. And I just like studied Twitch and studied how to use Twitch Studio and studied how to get the setups up and how to get the Elgato working and how to record everything. And then I just taught it all to Jason so that he could set it up for me whenever we did it. But yeah, we started getting some traction with Tekken, and we started advertising for it more, and those people started coming more often. They ended up really loving it. And then with Guilty Gear, we had a good amount of people coming in too, and we had like some attention going on for it, and some people really loved it and really had a great time. And we had to sadly stop doing Guilty Gear because that venue stopped having gaming stuff, so we don't have a venue to do Guilty Gear again, since Unbranded is only available on Tuesdays to use the location for free, because we got lucky that we get to use this big space in the back for free. It's like a whole private space in the back. So everybody gets to chill. They get beer and stuff from Unbranded because a lot of Tekken players are like older than 21. So they all have their beers. They get tacos from a taco truck because we have Tekken Taco Tuesday. That's what we like to call it, because the taco vendor's always there when we're there. And then we have our desserts and stuff. So people go have a good time. They play Tekken. We have friendlies before and we have friendlies after. And it's just been picking up. It picked up so much that like Senpai offered me the chance to do Tekken here at Flynn's that I also do on Sundays at 4 p.m., which is today. I'm doing it later after this. And we're trying to bring back the Tekken community. I've had so many people tell me, which is like my favorite part of it all, that they stopped playing Tekken like a long time ago, and how like they had tournaments before, but COVID kind of ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how Tekken is basically like died a little bit, and it's coming like back, and they're all really excited about it because they were like, man, I stopped playing Tekken like a long time ago, and now I'm back into it. I've had some people like Buckets say on Twitter how it just like lit up a fire in him, and now he wants to win, and now he wants to participate. He's been going to like all the tournaments since then. And it's really cool to see people find their love for this game all over again. And then for me to find a love for it too, because I wasn't as serious about it before. I was a little more casual. I just liked it. And then I started like practicing more and having Jason actually teach me combos, because all my life I've never been able to learn combos.
You just mashing Tekken. Just mashing Tekken.
You just hit and pray.
Mashing Tekken, do some different directions or whatnot. You'll pull something off, and you'll probably get like a good win. But when you want to get really, really serious or whatnot, you're gonna understand that you don't want to mash in this game. No. You want to be as accurate as possible and know when to pull off, what moves to pull off, when to do it, and take advantage of your opponent's screw ups.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I used to mash a lot in Tekken, and now I actually know things. Ironically, I play Katarina, so she is kind of just mashing circle, but that's not the point.
It's okay. I'm a filthy Noctis player.
I love how we insulted Katarina mains twice.
But yeah, I can't believe I forgot about it. But the other two games I didn't even mention that I played a lot as a kid too, that I mentioned before, was Killer Instinct and Soul Calibur. I used to play those a lot too as a kid. And Soul Calibur was the only game that by myself I tried to learn combos for. And I kind of learned some when I was playing Natsu, Soul Calibur 5. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, oh my God, I learned some combos. Like, I wasn't playing online, but I was playing like the treasure mode and everything that just gets harder and harder. No, I was playing online, I think. And I was actually doing like better. The only thing is with Soul Calibur, it's a little different because it actually matters what character you play. Like, some of them are just way stronger. Like, you play Siegfried, you play Nightmare, 2-3 hits, you're just dead. Just because they're so strong. What about Valdo
mains?
On who?
Valdo.
Oh, Valdos are just annoying and weird. Yeah.
Silverback knows.
As a Natsu main, it's fun when I learn her combos, and she's super fast, but she's super weak. So if I'm going against like a Nightmare or something, I have to really get in there and try really hard and block everything from them to actually win. So it was difficult. With Tekken, which is my second achievement, I would say, is once I started getting into it and Jason was teaching me combos and helping me figure out how to do it, because some of them are just still too hard for me to do. So we're like, you know what? We're going to adjust it and do it our way. I learned a bunch of launches and stuff that I could do. Once I get people in the launch, I just do her circle, circle, circle. Like that combo that she does a lot of damage. I found a way to keep it going a little longer.
Look.
Because I know what she's talking about. So
I know.
So I'm
Your
rolling my eyes,
expression
just
says
like.
it all.
I got hit with the mix up too, so I'm not gonna lie.
Like Jason taught me how after getting them in a launch, how to make that go even longer by pressing like her down triangle to like get them going in the combo and then do the circle, circle, circle. And I just do that like all the time now because it doesn't really matter what combo I do after the launch. That one
I'm just
still
looking back
does
at it.
a good, I think,
God damn it.
64 hit damage. So I just do that most of the time. As long as I have a good mix up and as long as I can get a launch on them, you know, it works for me. So I don't have to worry about doing like some of her combos that are more complicated, which I'm still learning. I'm still going to do eventually, but I'm so busy with all of this stuff, I don't get the time to actually practice most of the time. But
The
the
life
stuff
of a
I
TO.
have learned, you can see improvement from. I definitely want to practice for CEO though. But the stuff that I have learned, you can definitely see the improvement. Like when I started in these Tekken tournaments and I was just joined for fun or joined for the numbers so that we had enough numbers to join, I was getting wrecked constantly. Now, some of the guys have been like genuinely surprised at how much better I've gotten. And I've even like gotten a full set like on somebody before, which has been like a big achievement for me. Just getting a set and moving on in my own tournament has like made me super happy just to move on once or get some rounds on some of our best players. Like I've gotten a few rounds against Pico, who's been like our champion several times at our tournaments.
Snap.
And he was just surprised by it too. So just little things like that, I would say, are some of my biggest accomplishments and being a TO in this community and bringing something back like that and seeing everyone really excited about that. It gets me happy too.
Damn, that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Hell yeah.
Man, you and Jason are a sweet combo.
I will say, like,
Chuckle.
I got him. I fucking got him.
We got
All right, 1 point to Waluigi.
1 point Waluigi so far.
I will say that you know, being a TO, like when you first start out, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be really, really rough. Like when people see me, you know, do the things that I do for Flynn's and whatnot, they think that, you know, I did that with Justin with a short amount of time, or, you know, I just like knew it off the top of the head. I'm just like, no.
There's a lot of learning.
There's a lot a lot that goes into it. And for those that knew what Flynn's was before we were in here, we had our tournaments outside,
Oh,
or
yes.
prior to that,
I was there for the Tekken tournaments outside.
Me too.
yeah, or, you know, we had them in here when the arcade wasn't, like, you know, very small at the time. And
We had
you know,
those like 5 or 6 TVs.
You had like that whole TV that was in the back over here, and then
Yeah.
you had the two in the front, and you would just go to the back to do your match.
yeah, like
It's so different.
yeah, like that was, to me, was like the early days of just like doing tournaments here at Flynn's. And then of course, as time went on and I started to learn more and do more and be like, okay, well, what creative ways that I can, you know, make the tournament experience, you know, great for people, you know, to continuously come out. That's when I was like, okay, I can try to do this and see how that works for, you know, 1 week and just see if people would like it or if they don't like it. And if they do, cool, I'll keep doing it. If not, then all right, I'll try something else or whatnot, because feedback is very important, especially if you're a tournament organizer, you're going to run a tournament. Feedback is very important because you want to know, how well did you do? Did you do a good job or did you do a bad job? Like if I screwed up or if I did something wrong, I want to know, so that way next time I don't make those same mistakes. And eventually you'll be so good at doing Tekken, when Tekken 8 comes, you already know you're going to be the main person that people are going to go to for Tekken and whatnot, because I used to do Tekken tournaments, and then at that time people weren't coming out for us. So I was like, okay, maybe Tekken's kind of dead. So I just like, you know what, I'm just gonna move on to another game. I'm gonna put my focus on Strive, which has been, you know, growing and, you know, doing good. And then of course I'm also trying to do the same thing with Grand Blue and King of Fighters next, so that way I can keep those communities up and alive. I was very saddened that Melty Blood kind of just died off.
Yeah.
And I think that was because when CEO was coming up and there was no main
Yeah.
tournament for CEO for Melty Blood, people were not interested in it.
Also, to give you a little bit more of background on that community, they're very, very niche. Like,
Yeah.
now we're starting to get featured more as a main game. Obviously, we had Frosties, and now we're gonna have CEO and Evo. But like when we were essentially, like before that, we were essentially like literally the joke is in the bathroom of our Melty Blood tournaments,
Yeah.
because that's where they were done. That literally happened. And you know, like it was a really niche group. But it's also too like just that community is very, very tough to grow out, and I know because
Yeah.
like I've been trying to grow with them, and they're very like hidden, even
Yeah.
their online tournaments. So
Really?
trust me, I understand completely. I do want to say that if you do bring it back, I will happily like help you with that too. As
Yeah.
well
Same,
as Mortal
Melty is so fun.
Kombat.
I want to get more people
Yeah.
to just like try it. Just give it a try.
Yeah, like
Couple days.
I like Melty Blood. I like it. It's just I wish the community did not die off the way it did, because I was just like, oh man.
I only played like 3 games with it, and I kind of wanted to get more people. But
Yeah.
Right
It's
when I
always fun.
started getting like hype for it and I started like learning and getting my footing in is right when it died down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard, even to find casuals. Like we were just talking about it earlier. How like, for example, Mello knows the 2 best ones.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. Like, yeah, of course you'll play with them, but it's not the same as like, man, I want to get some games in, but these are the best people. They're not gonna really like sit down with me and explain
Yeah.
how to like, you know, the mind game of like Hisui and Koma, right? So and it's hard to find like the casual on the same level.
Right.
It's good to have like a variety of different skill levels
I still
to play
can't.
with.
I still can't forget when you cheesed me on Fighter Fest.
I went ham on Sim.
Yeah, Saki did, like,
No,
Saki-
you went ham
I was
on
like,
me.
no.
Then he went. Then he
No,
cheesed
and
me.
I think who was it? I don't know if it was Dice or not, but he was the other Akiha main, and he went like mirror me, and I'm like, absolutely not. Like I play this game more than you. You are not going to cheese me out with my own character.
Like I think it was loser semifinals when I think it was loser semifinals when Saki popped off on stage when she got
Oh my
because
God,
she
that was
won against
That was the debut.
I wanted the medal. Like I just
Yeah.
said, I just want a medal. I don't care what it is. I just want the medal. And then that was the match that like I had to do the mirror, and I'm like, absolutely not. I play this game more than you. You were here for an hour before practicing this character. Like you haven't touched this character since we did the meetup
Right.
for Melty Blood
Yeah.
launch. You don't know this character like I do. So I was
It's
just
like, no, you're a place fool.
Yes, absolutely. I was very much, and then I think because he went Roa first, and I'm like, nah, your Roa ain't there. Like I'll make sure it's beaten.
like it was a sight to see because Saki got out, I was like, fuck yes. I was like, yo, Paul, go off, Saki, go off. Like, yo, that was a moment that you had to be there to witness.
Yes.
I was like, oh man, I wish Melty Blood did not die off in the South Florida community because it's just so much fun, such a fun game. But back to what I was saying about just being a tournament organizer or whatnot. Like starting off, it's going to be extremely rough, and your main focus is just building the community, building it as strong as possible, growing it, and then of course seeing what you can do with other games and whatnot. And as I said, when Tekken 8 does come out, you're going to be the main face for that, and everyone's going to start coming to you, just like a lot of people come to me for either Strive, for Smash, and for all these other fighters. They're going to come to you for Tekken, and you're just going to have to be ready, like 100% ready.
The heart
And-
container.
Oh, I'm
is
so excited.
Tekken.
It's gonna be a heartful.
I really hope it, bro.
No.
No.
God
No.
damn it!
I should
We're-
start
Sorry, I'll
listening to that one. Oh, I really hope Tekken 8 does come out soon. I have some hope for it because it's been such a long time. But with Tekken, like the anime coming out, it shows that they're doing something with Tekken. And I feel like the anime is going to be just a little tease at the idea of Tekken 8 coming out. And that's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping
I feel
is
like
the
it's gonna be a
case.
refresh, or at least a refresh everyone's memory about the story.
So that they can get to 8. And I'm really hoping that's the case. And I'm really hoping that's what happens because I feel like Tekken 8 will not only bring more hype to the people that are playing Tekken with us now and the people that have like died that are trying to play Tekken, but it's going to get new people coming in. It's going to get new people interested in Tekken and trying it out because it's a new game. So we're going to find people that might actually really like Tekken, and it'll be really cool to see. And I'm going to make sure I'm ready for it. You know, this whole becoming a TO and everything definitely... It takes a lot of learning, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. Like, we put a lot of money into the equipment that we got right away to make sure we were starting off right, and we weren't expecting to make off like a lot of money off of anybody for these tournaments and stuff. We're just making a little bit to get by, and with the desserts and stuff, just to like keep the tournaments going and things like that. But when it comes to how much work and how much stuff we put into the equipment, like it's been a lot. It has made itself over time. But we know it's going to cost a lot to even get more monitors and get more PS4s and stuff if Tekken 8 does get that big. We definitely have the space for it in that venue. That's not a problem. We just have to get the rest of the equipment and the rest of the stuff.
The technology.
To get everyone coming in if we get a bigger crowd like that. But we'll be ready for it. You know, we have money from the events and stuff that we do with the Heart Container. We have our side hustles and our other jobs. So we're willing to put everything into it because we want the community to be happy and we want them to have a space to do that comfortably. You know, we don't want to have like just 3 setups and then it turns out not to be enough because there's like 30 people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we also have a time limit on Unbranded. We have to be done by 10 p.m. because that's the time that they cut off at that bar because they don't get as many people and it's just one bartender there. So we would have to get more setups and make sure that it's going smoothly for everybody. And we're not scared. We're gonna take it head on. We're gonna get that stuff the second that we need it, and we see the numbers and how it comes out, and we'll be ready for it. And that's something that we're excited to do. Hopefully, when it comes out sometime soon. And like you were saying with Mortal Kombat is something else that we wanted to do, and we still want to do if we ever get a location for it, because like. Mortal Kombat was also an option in the games that we were picking. We weren't sure about it. And then we started asking people around, and I started asking on my Instagram stories, and I got surprisingly a lot of people requesting Mortal Kombat 11.
Ooh.
And I thought Mortal Kombat 11 had died off, but no, a lot of people were requesting it. And I grew up on a lot of Mortal Kombat too. Trash at the game myself, but I do love the game and everything about it and the fatalities and everything because it's very similar to how Killer Instinct was, which I loved a lot. So I love seeing it, and I would love to be a TO and host Mortal Kombat for everybody and get that crowd coming in. So if we ever get a location for it, we're going to get Mortal Kombat, and that's going to be the next tournament that we're most likely going to do because we have a crowd that already wants it, and we want to bring that in and have that in like Miami area and stuff too.
I have one question to ask you before we move on to our next topic. Could you give a rough estimate of how much it cost you to be a TO from the time that you started to up until now?
Yeah, let me get a calculator real quick.
Well, in the meantime, FGC Gabe has been commenting that he talked about the good days outside with Flynn. Virtual Fighter and Tekken are doing a collaboration. He thinks Tekken 8 is going to be coming soon, and Mortal Kombat's life. I think this is mostly for you.
Yeah.
I would be down to pick up Mortal Kombat.
It is fun.
The game, so we're hoping for the next installment, and that usually is what happens with NRS games. They don't really last. COVID did not help at all.
Not one bit.
I'm sure, and I believe it was even you, Senpai, telling me, or or it was Eddie, or I'm not sure who it was, but they had mentioned that Mortal Kombat was like something that brought a lot of people in for Flynn's.
Yeah.
But COVID, and it's really sad to say that, like, yeah, that did not help the situation at all.
Unfortunate.
But you know, next game is the best way to like start it off and hit it off.
Okay, I did the numbers. If I had to make a rough estimate, right, because you have to include the gaming laptop I had to buy for streaming, the Elgato, the webcams, the microphones, the new monitors that we got switched out the second that we got that feedback from everybody. Then the transportation that we do constantly, the gas we do constantly. We constantly add bonus money too to get people more interested in Tekken and everything too. If we get 10 people or more, we give a $20 bonus to the prize
Nice.
pool automatically. We've done like several tournaments to celebrate, like our 5th tournament, our 10th tournament, where we did like a $40 bonus or a $100 bonus was our last one. And that gave us like our highest number of people. We got like 17 people coming in for that one.
Nice.
So if we include all the bonuses, all like the gas, the preparations, all the things that we put in, it would be close to a good like $2,000 we've spent overall so far.
And you're not even in your first year yet.
And we're not even in our first year yet, no. So it is a lot of money and it is a lot of investing to get involved. But it's definitely worth it to see how happy everyone is and having this space. And they're always talking about how there's never a space like this, especially for Tekken and getting that group together because it's died so much, or there's only online and online's trash.
Yes.
Even if you're playing on a PC, it's still not very good.
It's pain and just a different server.
Yeah, like it's a struggle. So playing like locally is really fun and it's great, besides the PS4 loading times and stuff like that and the frames. Besides that, it's still worth it and a lot of fun. So just seeing how happy everyone is, having a space for it, it definitely is something I look forward to every week. Like Tuesdays and Sundays when I go and do these tournaments, I love interacting with everyone and joining them and trying to be good or decent in the tournaments, or seeing Jason do really good because, you know, he's non-entity, he plays with Zafina, and he's gotten really close to winning or actually won one at Flint's.
Oh,
before.
yeah, I remember that.
Like he's really good, and just seeing how good that he's gotten, how happy he gets that he's gotten even better at this game and stuff too, just makes me really happy. So overall, it's completely worth it. Overall, with the people that we do get over time, the money has like paid back for itself too, which definitely helps. So it's really worth it. And if anyone wants to do it, like I recommend it if you have the space for it and everything. Just know you're going to put a lot of work into it. You're going to have to do a lot of research on how to do these setups, how to do these streams. You got to know the game a little too. You know, you don't have to have commentators and stuff, but it definitely helps get attention, things like that. I had to learn how to be a commentator and get into it. I don't know all the technical term for Tekken sometimes, but I do my best, you know. I do my best with what I do know. And it really just takes putting in that work, having the money to do it, and advertising and just talking to people constantly and trying to get them involved and thinking of new ways to get people interested. Besides the bonuses that we add, I also have like a whole initiative like set up within the tournaments that's talked about on my Smash GG, and it has to do with the heart container, and it has to do with like having heart containers. Like if you win a tournament, you get a heart piece. And just like in Zelda, if you get 4 heart pieces, you get a full heart container. Ooh. Once you get a full heart container, because we have our desserts and our boba tea and stuff, you get a free dessert, you get a free boba tea. And then and that stacks, so that's 1 heart, like full heart container. If you get another full heart container, you get that bonuses, and then you get a $20 bonus added to your winnings just for winning. So you get that bonus, and then for the people that are just participating, you get heart fragments, and you get, like, I believe it was 4 of those too, and you get like a heart piece, and you make your way to having the 4 heart pieces, you make your way to having a full heart container, and you also get a free dessert and boba tea just for participating, just for joining, even if you don't win anything. Just because you're there and you go to the tournaments, you have these little bonuses. I recently gave out like our first participant like bonuses to our friends Fem to God and Bones and Daruma. They got their rewards just for joining the tournaments. And then that resets every time the participants get their first full heart container, and every time the winners get 2 full heart containers. So it resets. So the more often you come, the more chances you get at getting little bonus prizes and stuff just for coming through. So it's a fun time for you to actually get friendlies in, practice, get into the tourneys, and then you're not discouraged if you lose or not, because later on you still get a reward for joining. So I'm always trying to think of ways to get people wanting to come in and just to have a good time.
That's so cute. I love it.
Now, I will say, when it comes to like the pricing, not the pricing, but the cost of running a tournament and whatnot, and I can just say, on my perspective, as you know, as people saw how Flynn's has grew over the time and whatnot, it cost me a lot, and I'm
Definitely a lot more. Yeah.
and I'm literally, I would say, I'm roughly sitting around $4,000 in. And that's not even including Fighter Fest, which I am also planning for in July.
Excited.
And that's going to put me over $5,000. So if you think you're going to come in to do tournaments or whatnot, and you're going to try to make something out, you're going to try to make profit off of it, understand that your community is going to come first. You're going to put more into your community because you want to keep that growing and whatnot before you even see a dime. And since I've been with Flint since 2020. And I've been doing tournaments for them since 2021. I'm sitting around past a year, almost going into year 2. So you're going to put in a lot of money because for the experience that I want to give the people at Flynn's and whatnot, it ain't cheap. It is not cheap. So
Yeah.
that being said, let's touch in with our next topic, which is and I'm going to ask this to all three of you. What would you suggest to bring in more women into the fighting game scene? And I'll start with Mello.
So I wouldn't even know where to start with something like that. I'm so new, and organizing things is like completely out of my realm right now. But I feel like, if a lot of women did start coming out and did try fighting games and they got to actually see what it was like, that they'd want to stay. Especially here in South Florida, I don't know if I've ever felt more welcome in a community. I don't know what it's like really anywhere else.
Right.
But I've never felt more comfortable or more safe than I do in this space, especially with the group of people that come out here to Flynn's. So I think the key is just getting people to try the fighting games and see what the community is all about.
Okay. Saki?
Yeah. So kind of going based on my experience and kind of the work that I do, I think that it's really important to let women and also marginalized genders know the spaces and where they are. And sometimes that can just be hosting a meetup just for them. I would love to try to do it more often if I wasn't just so busy with online stuff.
Right.
Between honestly online TOing plus commentating and things like that. But what I've learned running Queen of the Hill series is that the reason I've been able to find so many talented women and non-binary competitors is because I've made it a point to really advertise to them and really promote that there's a space for them, and encouraging them to look into their locals and looking into their environments and actually try to find places for them. As a local, especially offline, it's just really important to showcase that the women that are here, highlighting them, talking about them. So for example, if we have Strive, I know a couple of women. I know Mello, I've known Jiggy, I've known Calamari from what Herbs has told me, even though I haven't met her.
Kali, I know her.
I've seen her here. When you promote that they are here in your social media and in your Discord, it actually will encourage people who are looking outside to be wait a minute, there's an actual tournament and there's not just a bunch of guys here. That's really awesome.
Which is why I try to put Mello on stream as much as possible.
No. Yes. Okay, fine. I volunteer.
But
just tribute.
It's crazy, right? Because people don't really think beyond that. They're thinking oh, but it's just a social media posting or not.
Yeah, because people are more visual. If they see someone through a video or even a photo, and be oh, they have people like this playing at there's women playing here and whatnot. Okay, I'll definitely go. Maybe it's not so bad after all.
Yeah, it's very inspiring.
The irony is that every time I advertise Tekken tournaments, on my social medias and stuff, and I get new people coming in, they're surprised that it's a woman running the whole thing. They had no idea that, even though it's called the Heart Container, and if you research it and look into it, you see it's me all over the social media and everything. like they haven't like looked at it or anything, so they were not expecting it at all. And it's really funny to see like their reaction. Sometimes they're like, you do this? Like I had someone at our last Tekken tournament who was just a random guy who came in, checked out everything, and he was like, oh, you're the one who runs this? And I was like, yeah, like I run. And he was like, oh, do you just run that or this? And I was like, no, I run everything. Like I do the
It's
Twitch
like the numbers
setups.
don't add up and it looks
I
amazing.
do the brackets. I do like all of this, and I play. And he's like, you play too? And I played and I showed him, and he was like, it's fucking awesome. Like I definitely want to come next time. And he seems like he might come to our next one. So people get genuinely surprised. And it's really funny because even though I advertise it and everything, and if you look into the heart container, you would see me. They just don't know. It's like a little surprise for them.
Yeah, it's all about just representation matters. Like it doesn't just go with beyond seeing like you're like a person that looks like you. It's literally like when we say representation matters, it really does. People want to relate to on a personal level, and it's extremely important that locals, both online and offline, and even events like realize that is one of the ways to make women feel welcomed in the FGC. And also, I do want to give a shout out to you, Senpai, as well, because safety as well. Like I honestly, when Earps told me about Flynn's for the first time, I was very like, that's super far, and I don't know anybody. But the times that like if anything dicey has happened, like just the fact that you're just there at like the snap of a finger is like is really, really encouraging for a competitor like myself.
Yeah, and I remember there was a situation at one point, and Mello, you know about that one situation. I'm not gonna go into details or whatnot.
Not go into detail, but definitely I've never seen like a group of dudes stand up to like be there for me like faster ever.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that I take extremely serious when it comes to like personal safety and whatnot, because growing up, when I would go to, like a couple of guys' houses or whatnot, or even places where people would just, go and play fighting games or whatnot, and I know that people tend to get physical. Like, yeah, I do some shit talking from time to time or whatnot, and I can be toxic with it too, but when it gets physical, that's when I'm going to extremely step up or whatnot, because you never know how things are going to escalate. I've been in, like, growing up, I've been in some fist fights growing up, because of fighting games and whatnot. I'm not new to it. I'm used to it. I shouldn't say that, but I'm used to it.
Understood.
But for, people coming into the scene and whatnot, I do want to make sure it's safe. Like, safety is, like, my top priority, making sure that everyone's safe, everyone's having a good time. And every night, I always, when people are, leaving or something, by or whatnot, the thing I always say is, all right, thank you for coming out, drive safe. I always say that because I care about your safety. Whether you're here and then when you're leaving, hey, have a good night, drive safe.
Yeah, you handled that situation extremely professionally and extremely well, probably better than I would have.
Because in a situation like that, like if someone's going to escalate and whatnot, that's when it's going to be like, okay, now I have a reason to be aggressive,
right?
And I don't want to, because I'm always going to go with the option of we don't need to escalate this any further. Just, hey, people are not comfortable with you, being here and whatnot, I'm gonna ask you to leave.
Yeah, I don't think you were aggressive, but you were very like stern.
Yeah,
and
you
I think
definitely diffused the situation in like the most appropriate way
and
possible.
when people see that, especially when they come into a venue for the very first time and they think they're just gonna have their way, when they see someone that is just like on top of everything, because people will see it, especially with the Smash players, like if there's something going on, I am on it. Like, where to find me. I'm always around the area, so that way, hey, if there's something going on, you let me know right away, so that way I can handle it and get it done, so that way it does not affect everybody else. Because I also have to take in consideration everyone else's safety and making sure that they're not involved in whatever is going on. I handle it the best way I can. I get the owners of the venue to know about the situation. We diffuse it, we get it done, we get it over with, and we're back to having a good time.
Yeah, I definitely felt like you guys had my back. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You guys and the players here as well. So it was,
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I know most people might be uncomfortable with confrontation. So if anyone's uncomfortable, don't be afraid to ask me or somebody else to get either a TO, get an owner of Flynn's, etc. I got your back. I have a mother and a sister, and I always want to respect women and people of color and certain genders and creeds.
I'll just say this: I don't mind getting violent if I have to protect people. I don't mind.
All about smoke.
I'm very like cautious about
Senpai will
you
get
know, the
that
places
smoke.
I go and if I'm gonna be safe.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, like
Yeah,
that's something
that's-
that I have to think about, and I don't question it when I'm here. And I'm not saying that to like promote you guys. Like I genuinely feel safe in this space. I feel like there are people who will back me up if I ever needed. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really grateful for that.
Yeah, and I do.
We got your back, homie.
Yeah, and I do the same for everyone else here and whatnot, regardless, because I want you to have a good time. I want you to enjoy yourself. I don't want you leaving the venue, in a negative attitude or whatnot. I mean, other than if you lost your set, or whatnot. I mean.
So we got
Smash.
a Soto technique in the chat. He's just like, hire me as security. I love throwing people out.
I so too.
But back to the topic before we move on to our next one. What would you suggest to bring in more women into the fighting games, Amanda?
For me, I feel like that's a hard question because women are already very accepted into the fighting game community. They just don't really know it. Like the second you actually try to come to some of these events, you're way more accepted than you expect it to be.
Right.
Like everybody, at least the people I know, at least in the Tekken community and everything, because some communities are a little different. Sometimes the Smash community can be different.
Okay, so let me spin it. All right, so let me spin it this way then.
Oh gosh.
Since all of you, since y'all in South Florida or whatnot, what would you bring? How would you bring women that's already in South Florida into fighting games? Because to me, I feel like the best way to go about that, and this is something I'm gonna experiment throughout this year, is conventions. Because I know there are a lot of female video game players, like they play games, they cosplay their favorite gaming character or whatnot, but getting them into fighting games, and that's something that I'm even finding a challenge to do because some of them are extremely shy and nervous, and you can get overwhelmed because there's just so many dudes or whatnot, and then of course you don't want to be around any creepy dudes. So one of my strategies is just having a conversation with them, making them feel welcomed, and be like, hey, if you want to play some friendly sets or whatnot, they're over here, and if you have any problems, you just let me know right away. So how would let's just say you're in my position and you're going to a convention and you want to get women into fighting games. How would you go about it?
So to get them into fighting games, and another thing I was going to recommend actually is, first of all, I feel like there should be like a ladies' night every now and then in some of these venues, just for them to try it out, just to see how the fighting games are, try it out with other women, see how they like it, and then actually participate in it like later at the normal tournaments. Like you guys were talking about, safety is a big thing, so making it known that you guys are very like on the safety and making sure that everybody feels comfortable, making sure nobody's bothering you, make sure that they know that they can tell you if anything's going on. Making sure that women feel safe is definitely a very important thing in this kind of community and in anything, basically making sure that like women feel safe, because it's just hard to be a woman sometimes. I would say that to get them a little more involved, we just need to try to convince them to try it out and tell them that, but they have this character, they have like, this game has magic, this game has like this really cool like thing to it that you might be interested in, and if you give it a try, you might really like it. Like we could do friendlies with you, we could like we have friendlies at this time, at this location with these people. And once you actually get involved, and I would say this to like a lot of the women directly, like you just have to like just put your foot in just a little bit and try it out. Because the second you do, all of these guys are like there to help you and help you learn. They're already down to help you practice and get better. And I've had that experience myself when I started getting involved in Tekken. They were so open to giving me advice the second I asked questions and things like that, so that they could like tell me what I'm doing wrong and give me advice on the next things I could do. And they're really nice and open to doing friendlies too. I would say for women to just try to be a little more like open-minded and try it out. And you would be surprised at how nice that a lot of the guys can be and how like protected you could feel in these environments when the TOs and everybody like let you know how safe it is and how serious that they are about safety. Like you'll definitely feel welcome and you'll definitely like get into it and have a good time because everyone ends up being really cool and you end up having a really fun time. So for that question specifically, I would say just letting people know that you have a very safe environment, letting them know you'd be willing to do some friendlies with them, teach them a little more about the game. I would say like at Flynn's and things like that, trying to have like a ladies' night like every now and then so that they could just try out the game.
That is something I do have in mind, and that's something I do want. That's something I do have in mind to go after that crowd. And I mean, I was thinking about for Fighter Fest having a women's competition where only the women play.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be super cool.
I think I wanted to actually add a little bit.
Okay.
Last night there was a cosplay fest, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you guys, did you have a station that you could have titled demo station for anyone last night? Because
there were some TVs open.
Right.
I mean, there's these TVs that have like a bunch of different games and stuff people can
Right, but I'm thinking when you go to these cosplays or these conventions, right, you have a demo station. So one thing that I learned from Frosties, and this is why it's like resonating so much, is they had King of Fighters, the demo, at the time, because obviously it wasn't fully released, to play. And it was interesting because KPB Rage, I think, or KPB Station, they came up to me and they were like, hey, you're Puerto Rican. Why aren't you playing King of Fighters? And I'm like, I don't know, because it's not my type of game. But like that, like the way they approach is like, hey, play. Have a try. If you need me to, I'll sit down with you for 5 minutes and actually teach you. So I'm thinking like that's something you can do at the conventions is you have like this station, for example, right? Something very similar set up. You call it a demo station, and then because people are going to be attracted to the word demo.
Yeah.
And then you pretty much explain like, so at Flynn's, in addition to all of the video games we do, we host tournaments. Do you want to try out one of the games that we play? And you can probably put Strive or, something that's not too hard, but also not too like easy either. And then you'd be like, if you want, I can show you what kind of game it is. And there you go. You've just introduced that person how to play, not only how to play, but interested in the game, interested in the venue. Like, wait a minute, what? And then on top of that, you can be like, even if you don't like to compete, you can just come out and hang out. All you can play, we have casuals, and then you can watch the tournament. After we go through the tournament, once there's space,
you can play casuals up until closing hours.
Pretty much. So that's honestly a really great way. The best way you can set up is just introducing like that demo station. And then as far as the ladies' night is concerned, like again, it's honestly like just because I've been so busy, but I'm trying to like organize my schedule. But we had Queen of the Hill here one night, and honestly, that was really fun. Like if I try to keep it more consistent, absolutely, we could like bring more women to the scene, but like having that space for them, and even if it's like, hey, it's a ladies' night, you can kind of do what like the bars or the restaurants do, where they're like, hey, women get in for free, guys, you obviously will pay, but that promotion is still there while you're also still getting some type of return. But that does encourage a lot. So but yeah, if you do Fighter Fest like for women's only, that'd be super awesome. Hype. All you have to do is just, I'm pretty sure Strive or whichever game is
that was gonna be like my one challenge, is what game would I play. That
I feel like Smash is definitely up there.
Smash or Strive,
I
or you could
agree.
do both.
Because Smash for women, you have a lot of choices, but from characters and different diverse
Yep.
characters and different play styles. So it gives women a lot of options to, even if they're just trying the game, try all these different characters they might associate with, like Pokemon, with Mario, with if they play Fire Emblem or any of that stuff, and in different fight styles that they can learn to introduce them into the fighting game community. Smash is definitely one of the really good ones, and it's not as combo-ish as a lot of the other games,
Yep.
so you can
Yeah.
mess around and have a little more fun with it.
I don't want to throw any shade to the Smash community or whatnot. I don't want to throw any shade to them, but it just
But
It's Smash
South Florida
community.
is big on Smash, and it's just like I want to at least put more of that focus into some of the other fighters. I understand Smash is a very easy to get into game, but I'm also thinking about what is another easy to get into game, and I was thinking Grand Blue.
yeah,
Yes.
Grand Blue.
So you would be doing such a service to Grand Blue
Yes.
community. It sucks that they did not last as much because they literally were going to be the Strive just without the netcode.
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. And then DNF duels coming.
Yeah, and I plan on
Right
having
there.
DNF.
How was
Please.
DNF duels?
Please call me when you do DNF duels so I can spread the gospel of Ranger, not Crusader. Okay,
gospel?
we're
Hold on.
trying to talk. We're trying to initiate the satanic group of the Ranger players and allow more pew pew energy. But please let me know. I will be more than happy to
Hold
sit
on. There's a
down.
gospel already.
Listen.
I will say this, and I might as well just let the cat out of the bag. Yes, at Flint's we do plan on having
Yes.
DNF duel at
dear
Flint's,
God.
and it's going to be a Tuesday night weekly.
Woo!
Oh.
I'm making that announcement right now. DNF
Let's
duel will be a
go.
Tuesday night weekly here at Flint's when the game does come out, and it will be at Fighter Fest.
Man, I miss both
gonna be
betas, and I'm
sick.
upset.
You're making me come down from Davenport. I already know. I'm gonna have to talk to Herbs and like say, Herbs, can you let me stay at your house for a little bit?
Worst case, I'm 10 minutes away from Herbs.
But going back on like having like a women's only like a competition to where they can win prizes and whatnot, and then of course being around a bunch of other women gamers as well is like that has not happened before in all of South Florida, and that would be a great opportunity to build that community up, and because we already have such a big community of female cosplayers and whatnot, so and good number of them play games, few of them play fighters, and I'm just like, come to your locals, go to next level down in Miami or whatnot. If you stay in Miami, if you can't come to Flint, or if you're staying in West Palm, come to Flint's on one of the Strive nights or whatnot.
Hell yeah.
Or on the Grand Blue weekly monthlies. Well, I'm also gonna have another announcement. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is now going to be bi-weekly, so it's going to be on the first and third of every Friday of every month. So yeah, I'm making that announcement.
Man,
Yes.
I moved to freaking Orlando like at the wrong time. Like, I'm so mad because I'm like, because it's crazy because like obviously Central Florida is the next like place that you could find like monthlies, and I'm like, but I like it here, so like I gotta figure out how I'm
God.
gonna make the drive down here.
I'm laughing right now because Tanarakan is like LMFAO. I'm loving all these accidental announcements.
Yeah. But yeah, like I have big things coming up and whatnot, and that's I'm gonna be announcing later down the line, and we also have another big announcement later on at 12. So yeah,
I was gonna say, is that another accidental
another one.
announcement?
but
He'll accidentally announce it like at our next topic. Don't worry, guys.
But yeah, I don't want to take too much time so that way we get on to our other topics and whatnot. But yeah, like I do want to start building the women community, the women of the FGC community, because I know it can be done, and it's just getting more females to come out now and just be a part of the community, because they do have that impression that it's just all guys, and they don't want to feel overwhelmed. They don't think it's going to be like a safe environment. But I'm just like, we literally have women here that has been here to Flynn's. They've been the locals, and they're gonna they've been to majors, and they're gonna let you.
travel.
And they travel. They're gonna let you know that hey, it's not that bad as you make it out to be. It's really not.
It's really
Actually, to go on that and to go on what she was saying, you guys reminded me of a really big point that I literally experienced yesterday. Yesterday at Flynn's, when they had the cosplay fan fest, me and Jason were playing Tekken, and this couple came up to us and they wanted to play.
Oh, I
was
saw
playing-
that.
I was playing with this girl, and she was pretty good, and she didn't want me to go easy on her, but I was still being a little nice about it and everything. And I was telling her like, hey, Flynn's does Tekken 7 tournaments every Sunday. If you're interested, like we're gonna have one tomorrow and everything at 4 p.m. And she was saying, and I think this is another thing that women think about too much, is she said that I'm not good enough for a tournament. I don't think I could ever join a tournament. That's another mentality that I think is another problem as to why women do not try fighting games or do not try to go to these tournaments. They take the word tournament way too serious. Like, yes, there's gonna be some like really sweaty, really crazy players sometimes. Doesn't make it any less fun. You don't have to specifically win to enjoy the tournament and do it and just see how it is and then practice, and then eventually you could win. And not all the time is the tournament as intense as you think it's going to be. And I think it's a really big thing that we need to like let know to the women that these tournaments aren't that serious that you make it out to be. You can definitely join and be at like a beginner level and still practice and get into it. And you're not going to get like super wrecked automatically. It's not as intimidating. Like they think it's really, really intimidating because the word tournament's in it.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe with the ladies' night and stuff like that, putting the word casual tournament next to it so that they know that it's a little more casual, so that they know it's like you don't have to be super good at the game to join a tournament. Like just to join a tournament, you could just join beginner level, get the practice, ask people questions, and you could end up doing really good even at a beginner level. You don't have to be like this master level that's played for years and years and years. Like even I, like I said, never played Tekken when I was younger, just got into it more recently, and I still join the tournaments. And even though I get wrecked, I still have a lot of fun. I still learn a lot of stuff. I still enjoy hanging out with everybody and doing the friendlies before and after the tournaments. Like it's still a really great time, so I wouldn't let that word tournament intimidate you. And that's another big reason I think women don't like to get involved in fighters and don't like to get involved in tournaments, is because they think it's too sweaty, and it's not. It's not as sweaty as you think it is. Like that might just be Smash, but
Someone once told me,
Smashing.
you're all like out of the game. Let's say 2 million people are playing the game. You coming out and actually making it to a local, you're already part of like the 1%.
Yeah.
So that's when you put into that perspective, you're already like 1% better than the other.
Not only that, you can't get that experience like online that you can like at a tournament, even if you're not, going there to win and you're just going there to learn. That kind of information that you learn like from playing offline is like really valuable.
Definitely.
And it's really fun. Like you get to meet people, and it's not just there for like a super serious reason. Like you're there to have a good time. It's a video game at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
So
you should.
coming from like, going to an offline event is really, really fun. And it's something that everyone should try.
Definitely,
At least
100%.
once, yeah.
I think you should never go into a tournament with the mentality of just I'm gonna win. I think you should go into a tournament with the mentality of I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna learn like this character. I'm gonna learn about this game, and I'm gonna have a good time. And I'm gonna have a good time with everybody, and just get to know them and have a good time. And when you come to these locals and you actually get involved, you make friends and you meet some really cool people, and you end up playing with them and having a great time. Like I've been playing after our Tekken tournaments. I've been playing more Tekken with Waluigi and like Senpai after, and like we've had a good time, and it's just fun to play with them and see how they play and like get involved and just spend time with everybody. And I think that's something that like maybe women think about too much too when they think about a tournament, is that they think that they have to win, or that like you're supposed to win. And yes, it's good to win and you want to win and you should shoot to win, of course, but you should also shoot to just learn and try it out and have fun, because it's not all about that. It's more about experience and just seeing how it is and feeling it out and having a good time with everybody. And going to these locals, you really get the chance to experience that and the chance to have this sense of community all together and have something in common and just have a really good time and go off on it with everybody and have a really great time, compared to just playing like online on your own at home, and then dealing with online problems and stuff like that, and then just being pissed the whole time because you're not winning. It's definitely a whole different experience.
Yeah, you also have people like, bounce ideas off of and like learn from at these tournaments. It's not like online where you have to Google the answer, hit your friend up on Discord and hope that they answer.
Yeah.
It's like there's people there with the answers. There's people there that want you to be a better player to make them a better player.
And it's not like they're gonna like keep it a secret and like be an asshole and be like, no, I can't let them know my secrets. Like there is occasionally someone that might be like that, but not everyone's gonna be like that. You can just ask someone else.
It's just too much work to gatekeep at this point.
Yeah, you like most of the like good 98% of the time, if you ask for advice and you ask any of these guys or any of these women or anyone here that is involved in playing these games, they will give you tips and they will practice with you and they'll try it out with you. And if they want to keep their secrets for whatever reason, there's definitely someone else you can go to and they'll still be willing to teach you instead. So there's people that will actually teach you when you go to these tournaments and be willing to give you advice and stuff. So I wouldn't give up so easily on it or think you're not good enough for it when if you just come through and you practice and you talk to these people, you could end up being really good at it and you could end up loving it and you could end up just killing it.
Yeah, and I do want to say this is one last point before we move on to our next topic is you also get to travel with the friends that you make at locals. You get to travel.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see you guys at CU.
It's so fun.
It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't. You get to travel. You get to create and have moments that you'll remember for a lifetime. Like it's there.
Yeah, like
Just
I
saying.
legit met Saki at CEO before knew she was a Floridian. And then watching her play as Jade was the coolest thing.
All right, our next topic is worst experience in the FGC. So I'll start with Mello. Your worst experience.
So I feel very fortunate I've had very little bad experiences, like very little bad experiences. I had that one weirdo here.
Yeah.
That one time, but I wouldn't even say that was like horrible because it was handled quickly and well, and that could happen not just like in the FGC, that could happen to me like hanging out at a restaurant or something like that, you know what I mean? I guess the worst experiences are like little stupid things that'll get to you, like people trying to explain my character to me, like sitting down next to me and trying to explain how Ramlethal's swords work after I've been playing this game since release.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or like, when I would go to locals or events like with my partner before, they would talk to him and not to me. And I was the one there to like compete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just little things like that. But I've been very, very fortunate. Like I haven't had any like really terrible experiences, and I've always felt very welcome and very safe while at events.
All right.
Oh my gosh, I've not been so fortunate.
Oh boy.
I'll give you two for one online and one offline. So the first one is the offline. I was at Frosty's, and Beefy Manatee will tell you it was really funny. So
God.
And it's crazy because Beefy Manatee was like, "Yo, Saki, you're fucking good. Like you're working yourself. Like holy shit." I was playing against his gold Lewis, and I was playing my love, my husbando Anji, right?
Oh
And one thing that I've made it really known is that I don't play Anji very risky. I play him very conservatively and very defensively. So while I was doing really well against Beefy, I wasn't trying to be offensive or aggressive whatsoever. But then this guy comes along and he's like, "Why are you playing Anji like that?" And I'm like, "Sir, what do you mean? Like this is my style. Like
Exactly.
What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh, you know that there's an infinite for Anji, right?" And I'm like, "An infinite? Listen, this character is bottom 3. Like, what are you talking about?" Like, what? Then he was like, "Yeah, it's an infinite on Go Lewis." And I was like, "What?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play and I'm gonna show you how to play against this matchup." Next thing I know, Beefy actually whoops his ass. And I'm like, "Beefy, did he do the infinite?" He's like, "No, he never did the infinite." I'm like,
Infinitely
like,
got his
it
ass
doesn't
kicked.
exist. Like, I've been playing this character since day one, and I have never found an infinite with this character. And if there was, it would have been all over on Twitter.
That's
so
true.
Maybe he was just fucking with you.
I no, he was dead serious. It was crazy, and I'm like.
Probably
And-
like a practice mode thing.
And the wildest thing is that like I've gotten like that situation, especially like in both offline and online, where like I'm playing my character. I know what I'm doing with my character. If I'm gonna ask for help, I will ask for help. I'm not gonna just take it from some random who comes up and says, "Oh, you're playing the character wrong."
Yeah.
And then online, unfortunately, is even worse. I've actually had people. When I'm playing like ranked, for example, in Mortal Kombat.
Oh boy.
I've had people like actually tell me like, "Oh, you suck. Why aren't you in the kitchen like actually cooking me a sandwich and shit?" What's really funny though is that like they start off like that because obviously I'm like streaming, so they can come to my stream and stuff. They start off like that, but then when I like kick their butts, they like just go away. And I'm just like.
Yeah, take this knuckle sandwich, bitch.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's insane how like people get like they're very like that off behind the screen and behind the thing, but when they come to like online, like I've had a couple of instances where like they don't keep that same energy, and what's crazy is that like they could be like the most well-known person. And I'll go up to them and I'll be like, "Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going well at the event." Like super cordial, super respectful. And then you could see that like they're shaking because they're like, "Holy shit, you're Saki." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Saki." Like, what's up?
Nightmares?
Like, it's 4'9" Puerto Rican Latina here. Like, well, what are you gonna do about it? Like, what's up? I've had to prove my point more often than not. And a lot of people sometimes you have to grow that tough skin, and I've had to definitely grow that tough skin for me.
Okay. Amanda, yours?
Yeah, people online definitely like to talk a lot of shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and then they're a pussy in real life, and they're like, "I didn't mean it." What do you mean? I'm not misogynistic and sexist. What are you talking about? For me, I would say I'm also very fortunate. Haven't really had any bad situations at all in the FGC since I've joined at these tournaments and stuff. I would say definitely, at least from the ones I've been to and with the Tekken community and everything, they're very respectful. They're very nice. They're willing to talk to me. You know, they play with me like anyone else. So they've all been really cool. But there is like two things I could kind of mention. Like Mello was saying, where they like didn't talk to her. I get that as my own TO. Sometimes when we get new people or when people are first coming in, they will just talk to Jason and then they'll give him all the praise for like the tournaments and everything. And I sit back, I let it happen, but then I'm always like bitching to Jason about it because I'm like, this is my fucking tournament. I'm the one who fucking organized all of this. I'm the one who brought Tekken for you guys. And you're thanking him? I had to teach him how to do this. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Why does that sound like a SpongeBob meme?
It's actually,
You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about.
I understand what you go through because for the longest, it's only literally up until like of October-ish of like last year, I've had to call out people online because I'll get hit up in the DMs and I'll be like, ask like, "Saki, how do you do this?" Or "How do you set up OBS?" Or "How do you organize this tournament?" Or what's the best way to do things? Like literally help them grow.
Yeah.
But then the credit is never given. And I've had to tell people like, okay, in addition to you paying my fee, I need you to make sure you go on Twitter and you tag me and you say that I helped you do this.
Yeah.
And it and for people, it's like, well, why? Aren't you trying to help me out of the kindness of your heart? Like, no, bitch, I'm not, okay? Like, yes, I want the community to grow, but y'all be out here saying, "Oh, I'm growing this," and "Oh, I'm doing this," and then the next thing you know, guess who doesn't get opportunities? Myself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here. I helped you. You're helping your partner in learning how to organize something you're working on. Imagine if, like, let's say GameStop comes up to you and says, "Hey, is Jason here? Can I talk to him since he's organizing such a great tournament?"
Oh,
and then you're like,
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, you know whose name is the owner of the heart container? Just me. Do you know who made up the concept? Just me. Do you know who does all the baking, who learned all the tournament stuff, who built the community, who deals with all the social media? Just
you?
me.
How long?
And people don't realize that like that does more harm than good. So honestly, like give people credit and also make sure that like you're like just because you're announcing like I love when you do like the graphics and you say like buy Silver Senpai, like yes, let me hear that Senpai was like literally behind this tournament. Let me hear Herbs was helping with the Strive tournament. Let me see that, because when the opportunities come in, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, here's this person, they did amazing. I want to have them that opportunity, or give it to them.
Yeah, you want to give credit where credit is due, because
Amen to that.
because as you said, when opportunities come, you want to make sure that, hey, it's because of me this person is growing, their community because of my influence. I helped them out. And it's like, it's kind of a dick move that, this person isn't giving me the credit when I've been helping them. Like, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be where you are at right now. So give me my credit, give me my flowers, and yeah.
I always shout out Flynn's, and I always shout out you, even at the Tekken tournaments I do now, because I'm like, thanks to them, we have another location for Tekken. And we
it's
do it
not
on
hard
Sundays
either.
too. You'd literally just be like, shout out to Flynn's Arcade, shout out to Silverback Senpai for helping us do tournaments at Flynn's now as well on Sundays.
Now, like when you make when you make the graphic, you don't have to tag me and whatnot, because if anything, just tag Flynn's and then you, and that's it. Because I would want you to take that credit, because I am like I'm the head TO of Flynn's and whatnot. But if someone is running the tournament or an event at Flynn's, I want them to take the credit instead of just me. Like, if you're doing Tekken, it needs to be 100% you, not just me, but you. Everyone knows that I'll do all the other stuff or whatnot, or even when I'm not here and I have Herbs and Waluigi do Strive in my absence, I want the credit to go to Herbs.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have the opportunity in general. So I like
Right.
to mention it.
Yeah,
at least.
definitely.
And back to that whole thing, not that like Jason isn't doing a good job or anything, like he's doing a great job. He's been a great help. He's put a lot into learning himself. He's been trying, and he does a lot of support for me in the cafe, like constantly too. Don't get me wrong. It's just a lot of the cafe's fundamentals, foundations, and a lot of the big things for it is just me. And a lot of the time people don't realize that the social media is just me. All the baking is just me. Jason will help with like some things sometimes, or I'll occasionally, if I'm lucky, get friends to help. But most of the time for these big events where I have like 100+ items, me that baked everything, made this boba tea, made all of this, organized, like got the idea for the tournament, got the community for the tournament, advertised the tournament, like learned how to use Twitch and everything. Like that was all like me just putting my work into it and just getting really involved into it. And, I want Jason to get his recognition too for being a good TO and learning all that stuff too. But a lot of the time at the Tekken tournaments, I hear the guys like talking with him more, or they don't talk to me as much. And they're like, oh, this is a great tournament. Thank you for having this. And like, I'm glad you guys brought this thing and everything. And I'm like, why aren't they talking to me? I'm the one who put it together.
Girl, you need an apron or a T-shirt or something saying TO.
TO, like the whole TO
Kiss
owner
the combos.
of the place and everything. Like, which it just pisses me off a little bit. It doesn't bother me too much because Jason deserves some attention too, and I still talk to people and I try to let it be known. But for the people that don't know, like, yes, I run Tekken 7 for the Heart Container. I run Tekken 7 here at Flynn's on Sundays.
Hell
Jason
yeah.
is my partner, and he helps me pretty equally. Actually, I'm gonna give him 1/4 because I'm gonna give him 1/4 because I still do the social media and everything and the food and stuff that we have. That's a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I just want a little bit of that recognition, a little bit of that love, and be like, like Tekken's here because of me, because I wanted Tekken to be here, and I really like it, and I wanted to bring that for you.
Don't ignore your female TOs, y'all. Do not ignore them.
Or just
They are just as important, just as us guys. They are just as important.
support your local TOs.
Support
For real.
the TOs.
Like, give them their roses. Give them their roses. Give them their flowers. Give them the recognition and praise that they do. I'm saying.
And the second like bad experience thing I was gonna talk about, which it's not like the same thing. It's just ranked Tekken, Like ranked Tekken online, whenever you're playing someone ranked and you leave because you beat them once, is super, super annoying, because not only does it take forever, because I play on console, to like actually get someone to play with, and you want to build up your rank, because I'm one of the people that actually cares a lot about my rank, because I want to be the rank that I feel like my skill level is, and I just can't get there, because every time I'm doing good and I'm about to rank up, they fucking leave because they don't want to let me get the win. Like right at the end, the second round's in, I'm clearly gonna win, disconnected. Then I have to wait forever for another person, and then when they do connect, like they sometimes end up being even better, and then I can't take them, and then I lose all the progress I just got on this other guy because this other guy wanted to freaking leave. Or you get someone like right away, and the second you beat them, they leave, and then you have to wait forever to find someone else. And the whole point of ranked and online is to like play. Like, why are you running away? Like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh my god, I saw Soto technique with this comment. He's like, ignore all people at locals. Be an introvert.
All right, and our last topic is gaming y'all pet peeves. So while you guys discuss your pet peeves, for those that are watching on the Twitch chat, if you have any questions that you want to ask, now's the time to do so, as we're about to wrap up shortly. So, Mello, what are your gaming pet peeves?
I guess what I discussed before, like when people try to explain something like very obvious about the game that I play, they don't know it just because I'm a chick. That's happened to me a couple times. Or like I've kind of like been ignored in an environment, and like I think it's because I'm a girl, but I don't know.
Material girl.
You know,
Material
people
girl.
underestimating me too. Things like that. So definitely a big pet peeve. I don't really have to deal with a lot of that stuff online, to be honest, because like I make my username usually like a meme or something like that, so I don't even think they know.
Yeah.
They don't know who I am. So, but yeah, basically just that, or like being spoken over, being ignored, being underestimated. Those things suck.
Besides fighting games, you have like no other gaming pet peeves?
Oh my gosh. Well, if we're talking outside of fighting games, I played League of Legends, so I could go on for I need a whole other podcast episode for
Okay,
that.
give us one.
Dear God.
Oh my gosh.
I'm already cringing.
Outperforming my male friends, but not being accepted into their group.
Ooh.
That sounds like pain.
It does. It is.
Yeah.
Bull.
Being like a higher rank as like all of them, but still not being accepted into their dude group.
Yeah.
Y'all dudes need to stop doing that.
For real. I'm trying to be a gamer.
For real.
You're in the right podcast.
Saki, what are your gaming pet peeves?
So for fighting games, I hate being rollbacked really hard. Like I've noticed, and this is interesting as a competitor, like actual professional competitor with like my team and stuff. I've noticed that I don't get angry at losing. I get angry when I'm losing to the Wi-Fi or to something that is not part of the game. So there's been like times, like I actually posted a clip on my TikTok where I was like rollbacked like 3 times.
Oof.
And I won each time,
Holy
but the
shit.
game rolled me back, and then just Shiki got to win because he got rolled back and he was able to, like, I was just like,
No.
how many times does the Wi-Fi gotta let you win? So that is a huge like pet peeve of mine, as well as weakness of mine, is that like once I start seeing something happening in the game, I'm just like, I gotta stay calm, but I can't because I'm like really mad. It's not in my power.
Oh my God.
And then as far as like gaming is concerned, my biggest pet peeve is like I'll be streaming or playing a game on stream, and I get a lot of people like coming in and backseating in every sense of the word. So like when it
I
comes
know
to
what you-
fighting
I know
games,
that.
Yes, I know.
it's like, oh, you should be doing this with that super, and I'm like, no, I'm going to play
Tap
the
into
way
the
I
screen.
want to play. And then for example, one of the reasons why I didn't stream Elden Ring my first playthrough is like I don't want people to backseat game and actually like take me through the game. Like one thing's helping me, and then another thing is you took me through the entire game and I didn't get to experience it.
Yeah.
So that's a huge 2 pet peeves of mine that I don't enjoy.
You should have been a mage.
I'm like, no, bitch, I want to be crit with my Scarlet Rot and my blood. Like, let me play.
Amanda, your 2 gaming pet peeves?
So for fighting games, kind of like Mello was saying, I also hate being like underestimated. There's a lot of the time it's like a big thing that pisses me off is when I play with someone and they're like, I'm gonna go easy on you, or they're not gonna play their main because they don't want to, because they don't think I can handle it. Like even Jason will sometimes not be Zafina, and I'm like, no, you're gonna fucking be Zafina, because even though you're a really good Zafina and everything, like I'm trying to get better, I'm trying to beat you eventually. I don't want you like switching to Lars or switching to someone else, or even when you specifically say you're going easy on me, I'm like, don't do that shit to me, bro. Don't do that shit with me. That doesn't slide with me. Like I want you to be at 100% because I want to see, first of all, if I can take you at 100%, and second of all, if there's something I can learn from it and try. Like if I say I want you to go easy on me, and like and you know, chill a little bit, like I'll say it, which I never do. So don't ever do that to me. It's really annoying to deal with, because I'm just trying to fight you at your best and see if I can handle it myself first of all. Like I'm trying to have fun too. It's not really that fun if you're not putting 100% into it, especially in fighting games. So that's just really annoying.
Oh, definitely.
And the cheese in fighting games, when people just get you with cheese attacks, like again, Jason Zafina in Tekken has this move where she's in her tarantula state, where she's crawling where she's crawling on the floor because she has like different not states.
Stances.
Like stances. There.
Okay, I was about to say.
The different stances that she's in, like the tarantula when she's crawling on the floor and stuff. She has this one move that he always gets to me with, and it's bullshit, because she either does a kick that's a mid when she's down there, or she does like a sweep with her hand that's a low. So you either have to block low or you have to block mid. And he'll mix it up so that he's just cheesing me all the way until the end of my health, because I'm not going to know if I need to block low or if I need to block mid. And it's so annoying. And just cheese like that, and playing online and playing in general, that annoys me. I hate the fact that in a like a fighting game like Tekken, where it's a lot of fist fighting and stuff, they have people like Elisa throwing missiles at you, or Akuma throwing like little Hadoukens at you. I'm like, bro, what is this doing in this game? It's supposed to be about your fists and stuff. How am I going to dodge that, bro? Like I need to sidestep out of it or something because you can't block it. And I hate that. I hate it so much. It's super annoying. As for like if it's supposed to be like a fist fighting game, I just want fist fighting characters, you know? I don't want some BS thing, projectile being thrown at me. Like it's stupid.
Or be like Crusader, where it's like the word of the block, or the word of what is it? Command grab. Let me spread the command grab.
Well, do we have any questions in the chat?
We just got some side comments. Like Tanara-kun just said, I can imagine Saki's flashback to that time Shiki just wouldn't die because of rollback. Then FGC Gabe just saying that he'll always talk trash to Amanda. Elisa never goes easy. Screw Savina. Coven asked the most hated personal matchups, or a top 3.
Most hated personal matchups.
There we go.
Not
quick with that
over there. That's a matchup. Zafina.
You hate your mans.
Zafina.
Saki, what's your most personal hated matchup?
I'm gonna give 3 in each of the games one for each of the game I play. MK is Jackie. Actually, no, I take that back. Cetrion.
I hate Cetrion.
MK, Cetrion.
Buff Cetrion.
Strive. It is. I'd have to say Happy Chaos or Axel, because they both play the same. And in Melty, I'd have to say Shiki, because that man has privilege. I hate it.
Oh no.
Mello, yours?
So I guess because I play Strive mostly now, I guess my top 3 hated matchups, Zato is number 1, and I know I should be able to deal with Zato better.
Agreed.
Get me on that sandwich, and like my little brain cells are like shaking in there. They don't know what to do. And like I don't react as fast as I probably should. So Zato's number 1. And the other 2 that I've been having a lot of problems with, obviously Happy Chaos, but like nobody's having a fun time with that. Butter Punch, if you're watching this, please teach me.
Hold on, he's teaching me.
All right, then you can teach me because we're Rambros, you know.
That's true.
And I guess number 3 would be Kai, but I'm learning to deal with it. Ultima Wielder, I need you too. But yeah, I'll learn how to deal with them. But those are my 3 like least favorite, probably.
My goodness.
Yeah, to go on that, if I'm actually being serious though, I don't really have a problem with Zafina's online and stuff. It's just non-entities being super annoying. My actual like people that I hate playing in Tekken, and I would also go to Smash because I play Smash too. Kazuya, because I hate his hell sweep. That spinning kick he does, the hell sweep is just so annoying, and I can never able to block it. It's just the most annoying shit. And then Gigas. I've played some Gigas.
Gigas?
Yeah, I've surprisingly, like, we were playing Tekken in the Discord with the Tekken guys, and there was this one guy who decided to switch to Gigas, and he was wrecking all of us because Gigas does so much damage.
It's
And
like no one cares about
If he gets
Gigas.
you in that grab, like, that's like your whole health there, basically. That's like half your health. So Gigas, definitely super annoying. And then in Smash, so far, because I still haven't played with all the new characters as much, Steve. I hate Steve mains. Steve mains are
Everyone
so
in the podcast
annoying.
will say
I don't know
Steve.
how to get past Steve mains. I don't know how to deal with it. They're just ridiculous, bro. I just can't with Steves.
You just tell him to get some bitches.
I don't even play Smash, and I see the Steve hate. I'm like, who is Steve? Who are you?
It's a Minecraft character.
I'm googling. why does
I don't know,
everyone-
man. The way they added the minecart and everything, I don't know how to get past it. It's just really annoying. And the fact that I don't have a Switch and everything to practice at home, like the times I randomly play them is in tournaments, and Steve mains are ridiculous.
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh, that's Steve.
do you have any other more questions, Waluigi, or no?
Oh, let's see what's going on. Ghostchem said, is Saki ready for their testament?
Oh, Ghosty, you better be practicing those combos I showed you last night. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
Oh, trash talk before we close out. I love it. Then we got
I love you, Ghosty. I'm
FGC
sorry.
Gabe saying, everyone loves May I See. No, I don't. Tanara-kun just said, I used to say that Kai wasn't bad as a matchup, and then I fought one as Testament. I understand the problem. And Gabe just said, Gigas is so cringe. Nothing else from what I'm seeing.
If we have a little bit of time, I'll go into like the second gaming pet peeve I was gonna say, which was basically because we're playing Final Fantasy IX and I never finished it. And I really hate like the side quests where you have to get one item from this one specific guy and then go all across the freaking world to pass it to someone else and then go all the way back to him just to move on in your story. That's doing nothing to the game. It's not adding any story to the game. It's not adding any fun to it. It's just super annoying. And then when you have to be in a cutscene, and then you get out of the cutscene, you walk, and you're like, oh, I guess the cutscene's over, and then it's another cutscene immediately after. Like, bro, you could have just done a transition in the cutscene and then had the next cutscene. Like, I didn't need to waste my time with that. Some of that stuff is just really annoying to me. Love Final Fantasy, love a lot of RPGs and stuff, but I absolutely hate side quests and stuff where you're doing people favors when I'm already trying to save your village. I'm like the hero. I'm trying to save all your lives, and I need to give this cookie to your grandma and some shit. Like, it's super annoying. I didn't sign up for this, man. Like, that's why I hate games like Animal Crossing. I hate the idea of just doing a bunch of favors for everybody. What do you get out of it? When do you get to build your house and decorate it? Because it takes you a long time of helping people with all their shit to actually get the stuff you want.
My sister in Christ, you're the one who bought the game.
Like, it's super annoying. Like, nah, I have never spent money on an Animal Crossing game. I never will. I can't
You're a better
stand.
person than I. Over 1,000 hours.
Stand doing these favors
I
for
live
someone
for
else.
my villagers.
Are you okay?
My friends.
I didn't want to buy a game to do chores, bro. No.
When you put it like that.
Saki, I'm laughing at Ghostchem because he recovered himself from his sentence. He said he's coming for your ass. He's like, wait, not like that.
It's okay, Ghosty. I'm waiting. Don't worry. My hands are ready 24/7, 7 days a week. All right.
Hey.
Those hands are
Hey,
bilingual.
yo.
These hands are ready to eat for everybody.
Equal rights, equal fights. I can't. This is how we're closing out. Holy
Yes.
shit.
Well, ladies,
Nice
thank you
equal
so
fights.
much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much
thank
for
you.
being on this episode. I greatly appreciate it. Can't wait to have y'all back again, hopefully with our other two guests, so that way we can have a full-fledged episode. But
What's that, Terry? You loved the episode? we loved it too, man. It was nice hearing from you.
Terry overslept, so
It's okay.
yeah, I understand.
Understandable. She was working all night
Yeah,
yesterday.
she was working all night
And
yesterday.
shout out to Terry. Shout out to Terrific Treats.
Yeah, but ladies, thank you so much again for being on this podcast. Where can people find you? Beginning with Mello.
On Twitter, I'm Melonade__, and I also have Twitch now. I just started streaming. It's
Hey.
FGC_Mello.
Nice.
Nice.
Saki, where can they find you?
You can find me everywhere except with YouTube. So you can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch as Saki Sakura TV, and then on YouTube with Saki Sakura. You can also find our Queen of the Hill
Sounds like
series on Twitter at the QOTHS.
Okay, they doing some drilling next door or whatnot. So yeah, we're about done anyway. So, but continue.
No worries. That's about it. Follow TikTok and stuff. I post awesome clips.
You can find the Heart Container Cafe on Instagram, on Twitter at the Heart Container Cafe. Twitter for some reason came out as the Heart Con Cafe. But if you just look up the Heart Container Cafe, you'll see our logo. It's a little coffee cup that has the 8-bit heart and everything. That's always us. If you Google us, we have a Google, so you could do reviews and stuff. We have a GoFundMe. We have a YouTube coming soon for a new project we're going to be doing in the future. So go ahead and see us for that, and just follow us at the Heart Container on all of those. We update a lot of our stuff on Instagram. Any events, any stuff we're doing, usually Instagram. Twitter, we usually update all of our tournament stuff usually. So that's where you can find all the info for that. Instagram also has the tournament stuff, so usually Instagram's the best place to go. And you can catch these hands IRL every Tekken tournament here Sundays at 4 p.m. here at Flynn's Arcade, and Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. at Unbranded Brewery in Hialeah. And you can catch us in person and catch these hands. Let's go.
Jesus.
Well, Luigi,
Oh
you
my
have
God,
any
ladies.
closing words?
Oh, ladies, it's good to have you guys here in the podcast for the first time. Well, you like the second, third
It's
time?
my second time.
Second time. Thank you.
Yeah.
All of you have had some great matches with and inspired me, especially you, Mello. Like, you've actually disciplined me to be a better Ram. Saki, I'm glad to have an online match with you for the first time. And then you with Tekken. I gotta work on these hands, and this drilling is just annoying me.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I'm
it's
wrecking Waluigi.
it's time to go.
That is-
Reckon Senpai too. Last time I
That
played
is
him,
true.
you're gonna play
I am
again.
open to admit I get my ass kicked, and I'm glad. I need to discipline myself. Anyways, we'll close out. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining the chat. We'll definitely see you guys later. You can message us if you have any more questions or if you want to join up.
See you guys for Tekken later tonight, guys.
All right, and this has been episode 52 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We are signing out. We're gonna catch y'all on the next one. So y'all have a good one. See ya.
Peace.
Bye.